huge card on Slate today.
15-game card. It's us versus the bookies. Bases loaded, high noon. It's going to be a showdown.
On a suddenly not so casual Friday, the buy hat is engaged. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to MLB Bases Loaded on this Wednesday. It is Wednesday, May the 27th, 2026. We are back for more big card on hand today. We got 15 games, some getaway games, some afternoon games. Mike, tough card yesterday in the final market. The show played great. I was a little displeased with some of my final selections, but we get to do it again. It is a beautiful Wednesday afternoon. We see you guys all over the world watching. If you guys are in the chat, get ready to dominate. Mike, what's going on this morning?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It was a nice day yesterday. Some good looks, some good reads, some good player props. The thing is, I talked about it later in the day as well. I think we are getting into juice ball season, so unders a little scary here. We got some getaway day spots we'll talk about today, but I marked it with the flag stick, and I said this is the second leg of the season for a reason. It's because we have data. We've got factors to consider now, like players coming up from the minors and things like the juice balls. Now they want to get scoring out there as Major League Baseball gets the prime feature with the NBA and the NHL slowing down. Shout out to Razor Sharks' great stream last night. It was great to watch and call the game, and we are all watching at the same point. It was a lot of fun last night. Hopefully you guys checked us out live. It was a synchronization process, a coming, Shark, and it's only going to lead to bigger, better things here with us getting it done here. So let's make some money.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you said, the juice ball window here, some really bloated totals last night. We told you guys the Yankees were going to wake up from their slumber 15 runs later, and the Pirates just demolishing the Cubs. Our guy in the chat says, fading Cubs until further notice. We will be talking about that game in probably about a half an hour. And if you guys are in the chat, as always, please drop your comments. It is early afternoon on the East Coast, and it is early morning Pacific. Beer, wine, water, coffee, whatever it is baseball on this Wednesday, a suddenly not so casual Wednesday in May. Let's get down to business and let's get into the card. First game on the card, 1:07 p.m. Not 7. This is 1:07, the beautiful times of the Canadian baseball quotient in Toronto. Closing the series this afternoon, Yuri Perez at Kevin Gausman. Looks like Mike has graphics for the other game on there. That is not a problem. We can go, Mike, this one or that one? Which one do you want to talk?
Start with what am I looking at here? We'll keep you flexible. We'll see if you're limber. I got to figure out this background thing here real quick. So let's start with that Miami-Toronto game.
Absolutely. As I said, closing up the series here, Marlins traveling after the game, as are the Blue Jays. Big dog stuff here. Gausman against Perez. These pitchers actually faced off last year in Miami. A little revenge here, potentially for the Blue Jays. Mike, any thoughts on this game?
Do me a favor, kick us off here. I'm just trying to get this tray organized here with the games that we've got rolling here, and then I'll jump in.
Absolutely. You know, as I always like to say, a suddenly not so casual Wednesday. Here we are. We're starting the show. The buy hat is engaged, ladies and gentlemen. Take the Blue Jays on the money line. Looking at 144 on Cal Sheet, 50 to 60 in other markets. Little juiced for good reason. Our guy says Jay's spot. I certainly agree. And what you're looking at here, as I mentioned, Gausman did actually take a loss last year in Miami to Yuri Perez. And a lot of times people say this is anecdotal. I don't think it is. These guys are pros, and they will remember that. And Gausman will say, I'm not going to let this guy beat me twice, heads up. Not only that, Gausman this year performing absolutely great at home and in matinees. This guy's been a little notorious for years. He's been in the league for over a decade. He's 35. This is not year 14 where Gausman is struggling at these weird start times. 12 2/3 innings pitched at home in matinees this year. 13 Ks, 0 walks, ultra control, only 2 earned runs. And when I was looking at this, I also found another pattern, which I thought was great. He just beat Pittsburgh. In the sequence last year where he did lose at Miami, he actually lost at Pittsburgh before losing in Miami. So it was road loss Pittsburgh, road loss Miami. Now you're getting home win Pittsburgh, followed up by, I think, home win Miami. It's kind of a revenge tour here. And it's a very similar schedule dynamic. You also get a great spot to fade Yuri Perez here. This guy is incredibly polarized, road versus home. He's coming off a home win against the Mets. Of course, he looked like an ace. He loves pitching in Miami. Now he goes back on the road where he's 0-4, road outside of the division. He's 0-3 at the American League. His numbers are absolutely terrible. All 4 losses in this environment by the run line, more than 2 runs. 20 to 30 innings pitched, 6 home runs against, 16 earned runs. He is almost a mortal lock to give up a home run this afternoon. An absolutely final point on this. Miami is 0-3 in the final game of a series on the road if they are staying on the road for the next series, which is what they're doing. They're going to Queens for a weekend series at the Mets, followed up by another divisional series midweek at Washington. Absolutely terrible spot for Miami this afternoon. The buy hat is engaged. Take the Blue Jays and let's cash. Mike, any thoughts?
Yeah, I'm going to go to the over in this game. 2 things going on. First and foremost, it comes down to Toronto afternoon games. They've been flying over the total, and that's something I want to continue to ride with. I don't know what it is about the afternoon in Toronto, but maybe it's like I can't wait to get out of the city. I don't know. Toronto's a nice city. I've had plenty of fun up there. But on top of that, Miami finds themselves in a complimentary 10-0 position as a dog after scoring 6 or more runs. So we got a 7.5. I feel like it's a little baity in that you look at this thing and you're thinking, oh, it's Perez and Gausman, and they should go out there and cook. And, Gausman, I think he started out the season on fire. He kind of hit a hiccup. He bounced back. Is that hiccup going to come back into more of a factor here? We'll see, but I like the over in this game here. It's a nice price tag with that 7.5. Stop Geo says Mikey Money actually been wanting to ask you questions. This question for MLB. If you're getting the same odds for a -1 line versus their no bat in the 9th inning, which are you taking? I'm taking the -1. I'm taking the -1 because it gives you more options to win, right? The finite number out there is yes or no, they're going to bat in the 9th inning, but let's say something happens and the team ties it up, and now your -1 would have been, you're still alive for the extra innings with the -1. You're absolutely dead with no bat in the 9th inning. So that's my thought. I know something about that. What do you think about that, Shark?
I think I'll let you answer the question. That's a little esoteric for my mind at 12 noon on the East Coast here. But I will say this in terms of your over, 2 starts this year for Perez at the American League East. 8 runs against at the Yankees, 8-2 loss, 6 runs against at Tampa Bay, also in a matinee on a Sunday, 6-3 loss. If you guys want to ladder this, our guy in the chat talking about laddering this, I actually could see Toronto winning by margin here. I think we're looking at like 8-2 or something in that range. Gausman, as I said, efficient in this spot, and Perez will struggle. Lots of stuff there. We'll talk about that question maybe a little bit later. Just a lot to unpack in terms of the precision within that question. Thank you for the question. Anybody else in the chat, drop questions and plays. If you guys are telling the Jays, type Jays in the chat, and let's cash. Let's keep it moving down the line here. Afternoon baseball, 1:10 in Cleveland. Nationals Guardians game 3. Gavin Williams on the bump against P. Poulin. That is a nice little French name. PJ Poulin. Sounds like he's serving me a little espresso in Montreal, but no, he's taking the bump in Cleveland this afternoon. Mike, classic line, inflated, Guardians, Gavin Williams, the guy's got ace quality. What's going on here?
Yeah, I mean, look, the Nationals are on fire right now, and them bats are hot, so you got to respect what they're doing out there. But you can't look past this Gavin Williams cat. He's been on fire from a strikeout machine perspective. 7 of 10 starts he's gone over. I mean, look, his 11 hitters, striking them all out in Philadelphia, 10 plus strike. I mean, the guy's just mowing everybody down, and that's what it's going to take here to cool off these national bats. So, the thing about this one is the bounce back in the season finale or the interleague finale is a real thing. So for what it's worth here, series number 3, teams on a 2-game losing streak, trying not to get swept on a Wednesday, Shark. Suddenly not so casual Wednesday. Those teams are 17-1 over the last 20 years. Doesn't happen that often when you're playing an opponent in another league, but it is money. So the question becomes, how do you go after it? You know what I'm going to do is I will take the -1 in this spot here. It's fair price. So -1 sitting around -120 on this Cleveland Guardian side of things here. You could look at the no bats in the bottom of the 9th inning here, but I just think this is one of them spots where what if somehow it's a 3-2 game and the Nats tie it up and Now we're going into extra innings. That wouldn't surprise me either. But Guardians -1, I feel, is the official best way to attack this game.
Yeah, I agree. We've talked about. We weren't on here on Monday, but yesterday we did give you guys the Nationals, and we said it was probably a nice fade of Cantillo, who had been a little too hot with Cavalli pitching well on the road. This is going to flip, and this is where you're looking at just a great spot to fade the Nationals, as Mike said. Final game of a long road trip. They played 3 in Atlanta. Now this is the 6th of 6 before going home. Off day tomorrow, San Diego on Friday night. The last time they did finish a road trip in the center of the country, it was Thursday, May 14th, a matinee. And the Cincinnati Reds hammered them 15-1, also trying to avoid a sweep, almost the exact same spot. I think you could see margin develop this afternoon. This guy, PJ Poulin, is actually an opener. So you're going to get a bullpen game. Friendly reminder, the Nats, even though they're over 500 and we like them, they do not have the bullpen of the 1996 Yankees here. And if you look at Gavin Williams at home this year outside of the division, dominant. 3-0 straight up. Also 3-0 versus the run line. And you go through his National League home calendar, only one start against Cincinnati. Actually, his last home start, 10-3 win, similar line range. He was laying about $1.75. You're going to see margin in this game. I'm going to give you guys really a nice price point here. You can get plus odds at the run line, plus 115, 117. I'm seeing Bet Rivers actually at plus 135. If anybody's at Bet Rivers, I know Razor's at the track. I know our guy Xnizzle's hanging out. You guys are at Bet Rivers. Can you guys confirm that number is actually available on board? I'm curious because that is a huge price gap, 18 points north of any other book. But regardless, I think margin develops in this game. Take the Guardians. Mike likes -1. Mike, -1.5, -2.5, 3.5. Blow them out of the stadium, Guardians. Let's cash. Next game on the card.
Shout out to our guy, Stop Geo Engineering. We got to stop the show and recognize the gifted sports money membership from our brother from another mother out there helping build this community. Gifted membership at a time. Shout out to you, Stop Geo Engineering. Appreciate you, man, always being around. OG, commenting, leaving positive messages, creating good vibes as we build this community, Shark. How about that? Our guy, Stop Geo Engineering.
Absolutely. And he's dropping some good stats, confirming the Perez fade on the road there as well. So yeah, we got 2 plays in the early going. We like both the home teams, and let's keep it moving. 140 in Milwaukee, divisional baseball here. Big dog stuff at NL Central. Cardinals at Brewers. Chad Patrick hosting Dustin May. Interesting dynamic here. We told you guys yesterday Kyle Harrison was just in an atmosphere above, and he certainly continued that yesterday. 6-0 shutout, complete blowout, and the game did go under, which was our projection yesterday. Now you see a higher line. You see 2 pitchers probably not projected in the range we saw yesterday. Mike, tough game for me. Do we see more runs here?
No, I'm going to go to the under. I like it. So we're sitting here with an 8.5. It's a firm 8.5. It hasn't moved off of 8.5. You got money coming in. I think the books are comfortable where it's at. Yes, the money's coming in on the Brewers. It should. -135 moves to -144. Probably in the last 10-day sample. They're got to be the hottest hitting bats in the game here. Yesterday's Dodgers and Yankees explosions aside, which we had parlayed and gave you guys a nice little plus money spot on there. But I like the under 8.5 here. You know, the thing that would scare me, in an under or in a total with this game, it just moved to 8, by the way. Just now, it just moved to 8. Guess what would scare me in a spot like this, Shark? The Brewers fucking exploding and busting up on Dustin May. But guess how? The Brewers 9-0 to the under in this spot here. In the favorite roll off a multiple run win. So they kind of cork it back up and save it for later is what that tells me. I like this under 8.5. This is a best bet for me on the show. So make sure you lock it in. It is a moving and you don't want to miss out.
Yeah, you can still get 8.5. It looks like on a few markets, but yeah, definitely.
Yeah, just literally moved on one of the prevailing markets here, so it's still 8.5, so widely available, but it is moving. Is the point?
Absolutely, yeah. No, I wouldn't disagree. Obviously, just always a comment on zigzag in these series where you do see extreme unders sometimes turn into extreme overs, night 1 to night 2, and vice versa. Obviously, yesterday we did see the Texas Rangers get no hit and then proceed to score 8 runs in the bottom of the first inning. You talk about polarization night 1 to night 2. So just a general comment for me off a shutout yesterday. I think the St. Louis bats will be at least annoyed and irritated trying to do something. That doesn't necessarily translate directly to scoring runs, but the intention will be there. But anyway, Mike likes the under, and we will keep it moving. Next game on the card, 3:05 in Sacramento. What's going on in Sacramento at 12:05 Pacific? Man, I know people out in Sacramento. I mean, I have no idea. It seems like it would be like a Wednesday, at the bowling alley or something. People cracking a few beers at like 11 a.m. before they go to the game. This game, closing the series here, I believe, Jeffrey Springs against Logan Gilbert. Mike, I have a hat on in this game. We did not discuss this before the show, but I like this side. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, I was looking at this game, and surprisingly, there's two ways I want to attack it. I kind of gave you my thoughts on a couple of these teams the other day and where they sit, but we've got intersecting zeros on an under in this game, which is very surprising because we know Sacramento and the ball flies out of here, but Jeffrey Springs brings himself a 10-0 under trend in here in the AL dog roll. If he got more than 83 pitches his previous game. So once he starts dialing in, this is that quarter stick I talked to you guys about there with Memorial Day and the Major League Baseball season. A guy like Jeffrey Springs is an experienced vet that finds a way to continue to stack sustainable performance out there. And Logan Gilbert, he comes in a 10-0 spot in the favorite as an AL opponent. He allowed no home runs to in his last start on less than 90 pitches. So command and control and mowing everybody down doesn't surprise me that it leads to. And so, I like the under in this game. It is moving as well. This is another one of those hot movers. It has come down a full run. So do your shopping because I like the 9, not the 8.5. I want that 9 in my back pocket in the event of a push. But Shark, I'm going to go a little bit on the, I don't know if it's a fringe play here or not, but I like the under. I just talked to you guys about Jeffrey Springs settling in, and I like his over 4.5 punch outs here. This guy, as a lefty, certainly capable of changing the game a little bit. Not a big strikeout guy. That's why you see the number set at 4.5. But, the Mariners, they're swinging for the fences. When it comes against lefties, they're boom or bust, and it's defined by 29.4% strikeout rate. When they're going and swinging, it's going fence or it's getting struck out and they go home. So, from that perspective, Springs, 6 or more innings in back-to-back starts. So he's getting plenty of time against a high strikeout team. That just feels like that over 4.5 strikeouts with the under 9 are a couple good ways to attack this game.
Yeah. You're talking the total. I'm going to talk the side. We're switching hats here. The buy hat is engaged, ladies and gentlemen. Take the A's on the money line here. Great spot and really checks all the boxes for me here. What you're looking at here is a great merge dynamic to sell and buy. You want to sell Gilbert. Gilbert here looking way too clean on the road. Only 3 earned runs on the road all year in 22 2/3 innings pitched. When I was going through this morning, I was actually really surprised to see that because I remembered he had struggled pretty significantly on the road last year. Starting to go through it, it seems to be opponent specific. I don't think it correlates to continued dominance against this opponent in this stadium. As I said, he's been great. His worst start of the entire year was actually a home start against the Athletics. Shortest start of the year, only made it through 4 innings, 89 pitches against this lineup, 6 hits, 2 walks, 3 earned runs. You want to talk about the line. He was favored in that game roughly minus 200. So this is what I look at. I say, why is it only minus 126? Something fishy is going on here. I think he's going to struggle. It's 12 o'clock in the afternoon. It is Sacramento. It is the second consecutive road start. And maybe not coincidentally, the only time Gilbert did pitch in the division on the road this year, he did lose Monday, April 6th by 1 run, 2-1 at Texas. Talking about the A's side of this game, this is a great spot to buy the A's. The A's are trying to avoid a sweep. They have lost the first 2 games of this series, both by some margin. They are 2-0 at home this year, off of back-to-back home losses, have not gotten swept at home, have not gotten swept since the opening series of the year on the road at Toronto. This is also a very good calendar spot for the A's. You come home off a trip, you lose 2 in a row. Now you play a matinee game before you have an off day tomorrow, and they stay at home over the weekend to play against the Yankees. So for me, this is a real comfort zone type of game for the Athletics. And final point on this. Last year, Jeffrey Springs was 2-1 straight up against Seattle. He does dominate this lineup, and he is actually 0-4 straight up last 4. Yesterday, we were talking AL West baseball, and I told you Jack Conowitz on the Angels had lost 8 straight starts, or 7, I believe, and he was going to get off the schneid. I think the same thing for Jeffrey this afternoon. He's 3-1 at home against the American League. He's 1-0 at home in the division against Houston in a very similar line range as a small dog against Christian Javier, 11-4 victory. This checks every box for me. I love the Athletics in this spot. Take the A's and let's cash. Keeping it moving down the line here. More afternoon baseball. Diamondbacks Giants, Oracle Park in San Francisco. At some point, the Giants are going to beat the Diamondbacks this year. It hasn't come yet. They are 0-5. Mike correctly called this yesterday. He said Diamondbacks would win. They did. Mike, is this where it finally reverses towards the Giants?
No, it's not a good spot for the Giants here today, unfortunately. McDonald, what's funny is I think I said it the last time, Old McDonald had a farm, and then I was driving north of the border and I saw Old McDonald Farms as we were going out there. So I thought, is that a sign? I don't know. Listen, I told you guys before, San Francisco showing us early signs that they're selling, and that's never a good situation out there. There's a couple of teams. We talked about this. We'll talk about it again when it comes to the White Sox here, where it's like you got your pitchers, but you sold all your bats. And in this case, they're selling their pitchers. So this is not a sign you want to see from a team. And then you're playing a guy like Soroka, who's actually, his outside numbers are looking great coming into this thing now. He's actually been stepping up. He's been showing that he can shove. You don't have to do much shoving against a team like this San Francisco Giants team here. So you're catching a really good price tag for this Arizona team. But moreover, I was looking at this spot and said, you know what? I like Soroka to catch the win in this one as well. And they're just gingerly placing it out there, but around plus 140s for Soroka to get the win. Not going to have to do much, I think, to get past this team. So I like Arizona and I like Soroka to catch the win.
Disagreement here. I'm going contrarian on this one, Mike. I thought you'd like this one because the contrarian side's coming to play, I think. But I think the Giants get this win, and we'll see. This will be our big dog competitive special in the afternoon. I just think this is kind of enough is enough at this point for the Giants, and I think they're going to win this one. Not only that, I do like Trevor McDonald in this spot. He came up last year in September. He's actually 4-0 in divisional games as a starter for the Giants. And we actually told you guys to fade this guy, as Mike said on Friday. It was a home game against the White Sox, and the White Sox did light him up. He has been worse outside of the division. I think you're getting a bounce back. And not only that, you get a nice corollary in terms of the line. His only divisional home game this year was Monday, May 4th. He did win the game 3-2 against San Diego. San Diego and Randy Vasquez were laying pretty much the identical number, minus 130. So he performed well in this range as an underdog. He pitched absolutely great. 7 innings pitched, only 2 hits, 0 walks, 8 Ks, 1 earned run on a solo shot. And I think Soroka is kind of due to get hit. If you look at his game log, Soroka's had 1 bad start all year. He's been elite, and we backed him numerous times. But his only really horrible start this year was a Thursday matinee game at Milwaukee. 3 innings pitched, 8 earned runs on 10 hits. He's been very clean since. He's faced the Colorado Rockies in 2 consecutive games. It's not exactly murderer's row with the Rockies. I think something's going on here. 12:45 by the Bay. I think Soroka is a little too hot, and we will see. But, Mike, taking the D-backs, any further comments or keeping it moving?
I don't know who's going to hit him, dude. I mean, look, you got Adames and Arise. I get that. Rafael Devers is a problem, and he's got 0 luck factor against Soroka. Casey Schmidt. I like Matt Chapman, but then you've got Sussex, Eldridge, Botter, and Gilbert, dude. I don't know, man. I mean, I get it that at some point the guy's due to get popped, but this team compares to Colorado Rockies. This ain't an LA Dodgers team they're playing out there. So this will be a fun one to text back and forth about.
Yeah, no, I agree. And just one final point on that. Obviously, when we have these competitive dynamics, it's more fun than anything. But the game that I'm referencing here for McDonald at home, he did win 3-2. And the lineup only had 6 hits in the entire game. And the game was just an extreme under. So I think that the Giants could win this game in a very low scoring game. And that's also why your line is 7.5 on the total. So, obviously when we're capping baseball, lineups, pitchers, a lot of dynamics, but I do see a low scoring win this afternoon. Great conversation on that. If you guys are tailing, type which side you're tailing in the chat, and we will keep it moving. One more matinee game this afternoon, 4:10 in San Diego. Padres, Phillies closing up a series, game 3 here. Walker Buehler against Christopher Sanchez. You talk about these pitchers who have been ultra clean in recent history, Christopher Sanchez has the trophy for all of them. 0 earned runs in the month of May. I mean, this guy is making his Cy Young campaign stronger by the day. Now he has to go to the West Coast. Mike, we're talking about contrarian sides here. Is this where you sell this guy?
No, it's not. Now, listen, I do like the Padres bullpen. I will give them that, but I told you guys the other day that the Phillies are pissed and they lost a series by giving up only 4 runs. So you're playing a team that's not scoring a bunch of runs in the Padres. You see this totals come down. I mean, look, it's got some 6.5s out there now. It come from 7.5 to 6.5. No, I think this is a spot where he just kind of stays at it here. You look at this Dodgers team overall, or I'm sorry, this Padres team overall. Geez, the Dodgers. I got the Dodgers on the brain here. But you look at them overall and you see, listen, this is an under team. They're playing the NL as a dog against a lefty. It doesn't get any more tailor-made to take a beat down here. And I think this Phillies team can walk over these boys. I like this total as an under. I think this first 5 at 3.5 is where I want to play, but I'm just trying to take a look at it right now. You know what? You want to make the Phillies cheaper for me to play on them. The thing I talked about before is Walker Buehler, and Walker Buehler out of league in the dog roll. Fire. Not in league. This is a bad spot for Walker Buehler, and he's facing an ace of all aces here. I like the spot. I can catch a minus 138 for the Phillies. Let me see what this first 5 looks like here. I was thinking about the no run. I was thinking about really maximizing this thing and sweating the shit out of this game. But 3.5s plus 106 at 3.5. So I'll take the first 5 under 3.5. I'll take the Phillies minus 138.
Yeah, I got to be honest. This game has been confounding me all morning. I'm trying to get to San Diego, and I got to be honest. Like, Mike is definitely the contrarian side of this show, but behind closed doors, I don't wear hats, and I am a very contrarian old wise man. Basically, I really like these dark secret type of games, and I think this is where Sanchez could get hit. If I'm being honest, the guy is just too clean. I'm sorry. 0 earned runs the entire month. This will be his final start of the month. I don't think there's ever been a pitcher in Major League Baseball that's given up 0 earned runs in an entire month with more than 35 innings pitched. I mean, this is historical stuff. And it kind of reminds me of the 9th inning with a guy throwing a perfect game. It's hard to finish the job. You're a little market capped. You're a little in your mind. And you start to look at what he's done this year. Most of this recent success has come at home at Citizens Bank Park. 4 of his last 5 starts at home. And he's coming off a loss against the Guardians where he gave up 0 earned runs. The last time he lost a home game where he gave up 0 earned runs, a 3-1 loss against the Braves on Saturday, April 18th. Next game, road game, matinee at the Cubs. 5 1/3 innings pitched, 12 hits, 2 home runs, 6 earned runs, lost 8-7. Go back before that, his only other road start on Western time, coming off a home game, 1 earned run at the San Francisco Giants, Tuesday, April 7th, 11 hits in only 5 innings, 2 earned runs and a loss, similar line range, minus 135 to Robbie Ray. So I do think this is somehow leaning towards San Diego. I also like San Diego to avoid a sweep. And I also like Walker Buehler against the Phillies. I went back to last year. Pitching for the Red Sox, he did actually ace the Phillies in Philadelphia. And you want to talk about maybe some situational motivation. You guys have to remember the Red Sox actually traded Buehler to the Phillies in September last year. He made a couple starts for this team, and they didn't re-sign him. So we talk about this all the time. He didn't exactly have a long career with the Phillies, but he did have some burn. I think he will be fired up to compete here. For me, this really is, as I said, the old wise man take here. I think this is where maybe it's a little too clean and it's not so much about anything other than the fact that there is really a spot where Sanchez could get hit, and he has underperformed very notably road games not on Eastern time. I'm going to go for it, guys. I'm going to sweat it. We're taking the Padres on the money line. I got it earlier around plus 130. It's getting steamed down pretty significantly now, actually. Yeah, wow. We're looking at plus 118 on FanDuel. Kalshi's still hanging at plus 133, however. Will be interesting. Great conversation there. And let's keep it moving. That's the matinee card. That's 30 minutes. We got a lot of details. It is great baseball talk on this Wednesday. Evening baseball, 6:35, Fox Sports 1. Big dog stuff here. Rays, Orioles, continuing this series, final game of this series. Orioles have gotten them 2 in a row. When I was watching this game last night, it reminded me of something that I had at least thought about prior, is the Rays were a little too hot. Their run differential is not particularly impressive. They are maybe a sell team in the market now. Mike, tough game for me here. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Rays. I've been talking about this, and yes, I've been looking at Tampa Bay and not necessarily buying into what Baltimore's doing because of this Tampa Bay streak and what they've had going on here. But look, 21 years, perfect 15-0. I'm not going to mess around with it. I'm taking the Tampa Bay Rays. I'm going to back Mats to get the bats to follow his leadership out there and see if they can't find a way to victory lane here at a really reasonable price. So, yeah, 15-0 over 21 years. I'll leave it at that. I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Rays.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree. I don't dislike the Rays. Just pointing out their run differential is pretty soft given their flat record right now. Tough game for me. I'll defer to Mike. I wouldn't stay away from the Rays. Don't love it myself, but we will keep it moving. More evening baseball, 6:40 in Detroit. Another one between the Angels and the Tigers. Called this one last night correctly, 10-6 Angels. Jack Kokonowitz off the schneid. Now we get a nice looking pitcher's duel environment tonight. Jose Soriano against Casey Mize. Mike, what's going on here?
Yeah, this is a tricky one, man, for sure. You look at the numbers, like we got to really do some work on this game to, I think, come up with a solution here, because the Tigers, yes, they're cooking, but no, they're not quite getting there. When they're in the favorite role on top of it, they really struggle. So dogs against the Tigers, the Tigers at home as a favorite, essentially, you fade them. You're 7-2 over the last 9 spots this season. So they're not quite getting there. And Soriano on the road as a dog, he's been profitable. He's 7-3 his last 10. He's got himself a 3-game winning streak in that process. So, then you look at Mize, and the problem with Mize is this guy's a monster, non-divisional opponents. He's 35-21, but he's just 5-5 in recent form. So what do? You look at the numbers, you see 55% of the bets are coming in on the Angels, 60% of the cash, and the line's come down. It's come down significantly against the Tigers. They were minus 132 favorites. Now there's some minus 104s out there. Totals staying firm at 7.5 on top of it. So, as much as I hate to do it here, I just wonder, why is Mize such a big favorite in this case here, and the way they started it off? So I almost wonder, is it Detroit first 5, LA Angels full game? I don't know. I'm going to stick to the no-run first inning in this game, though. I think this is probably the easiest way for me to get paid and get out of this thing. No-run first inning, minus 130, Bet Rivers. I don't really care who wins this game.
Yeah, I do. I think the Angels win. I think the Angels continue upward movement here. And I think it really connects with everything you said. I think Jose Soriano really is returning to form. I think he's extremely high upside. But more importantly, I'm looking at the Tigers here. The Tigers are 3-17 in their last 20 games. And we said this yesterday. They have absolutely terrible group psychology. The Mets are number 1. We'll let the Mets have that trophy. Tigers are number 2. Last year, they went absolutely nuts and had the best record in baseball and fell off a cliff. They are still living in that funeral environment, and there's no upside here. Not only that, they are injured. Gleyber Torres, as of 2 days ago, was actually visiting DJ LeMahieu as a minor league manager, throwing out the first pitch. It's not where Gleyber wants to be for the Tigers. Javi Baez is hurt. Tarek Skubal is hurt. Kerry Carpenter is hurt. Others. This managerial situation looking a little more sketchy by the day. Not only that, you look at last year's matchups. Casey Mize did beat the Angels twice. He beat them twice by heavy margin. 4+ runs in both. Favored on the road, minus 150. Home, minus 185. So you ask yourself, what do the books think of this matchup? 2 complete blowouts, and they moved the line 70 points against. They like Jose Soriano here. And last year, Soriano actually did take a 9-1 loss versus the Tigers. You talk about one of the most fraudulent final scores of the entire 2025 baseball season. The Tigers scored 8 runs in the top of the 9th inning after Soriano had been removed in a 1-1 pitcher's duel at home against Tarek Skubal. He has great matchup numbers against the Tigers. The Angels are showing upward momentum. The line is all over the Angels. The Angels will win this game. Take the Angels and let's cash. Next game on the card, more divisional baseball, NL Central in Pittsburgh. Bubba Chandler against Jamison Tyone, matchup 2. These pitchers did face off at Wrigley earlier this season. Mike, Cubs fans in the chat honestly must be wondering, will the Cubs win another baseball game all season? This is out of control. 10 straight games, no win in sight, just got hammered last night. Is this where they bounce back?
Yeah.
Oh,
the problem for me with this spot. So I told you guys yesterday I was fading. It wasn't just because it was 9 straight, but it was that universe kind of opening up and showing us a look at its underside there. And it was a good spot for us to easy casher on top of that. But these bats are too good. And this is just two things going on. Once a team gets to 10, I like to go the other way, just out of not just contrarian, but like, guess what? Everybody knows the Cubs have lost 10 in a row right now. So those never pay. Those just never, you never find a way to get to the cash in those. But let's take a deeper dive. Bubba Chandler, this guy's a pitch to contact guy, and you're going to pitch to contact against one of the top 5 teams in baseball when it comes to batting the ball in the Chicago Cubs. That's not a good recipe. And you got a total at 9. So wind is favorable for batting on top of that. I think there's going to be some fly balls out there that fuck this Bubba Chandler guy right over. And the Cubs walk away here after taking a embarrassing 10 straight losses. I know, I get it. They lost 10 in a row. I got it. Everybody knows that. So give me the Chicago Cubs to bounce back here.
Yeah, I could see it. At some point, it's going to stop. And when I was looking at this before, it actually reminded me of what I said about baseball related to the NFL schedule, 162 versus 16, the 10-1 ratio. So
Sure.
Interestingly enough, the Cubs just effectively lost one NFL game in closing yesterday, 10 in a row MLB game. So they lost one NFL game. They bounced back. It certainly could come here. Tyone has actually looked good on the road. He's looked even better on the road in the last 16 months within the division. This is actually his first road divisional start of the year. You got to go back to last year. He did pitch at Pittsburgh in September. 4-0 win. 6 innings, 0 earned runs. Followed that up at Cincinnati, another one, 1-0, 1 earned run. He's going to pitch well. Bubba Chandler is also going to pitch well. What does that bring me to? My best look in this game is the under. And I think it's also a zigzag from last night. You saw a bloated total. It was all Pirates. I don't think the Cubs bats explode against Chandler, who is a better home pitcher. I think the Cubs win a very low-scoring game, correlated to what I said Tyone did last year in the division. Absolutely final point on this. This really is a market shift for the Cubs, where now you're seeing them as a dog, where they will be a buy low. Mike, they were losing as a favorite. They were getting crushed. Imanaga's land like 1.9 to 1 and losing by 3 runs. Great buy low on the Cubs. I wouldn't disagree. Cubs get off the schneid. I see it coming in a low-scoring game. Mike likes the Cubs. I like the under. And we will keep it moving. Next game on the card, Braves, Red Sox in Boston. Game 2 of this series. Crazy one last night. Spencer Strider 7-6 over Ranger Suarez. Now you get Bryce Elder at Conley Early. Conley Early really looking quite good, in my opinion. Another contrarian line number here. What's going on here, Mike?
Yeah, Early's been fine, but he's not playing well at home. And that's kind of a problem when you're in a big league market like the Boston Red Sox are in this case here. So, overall, I want to get behind Boston in this case here because I do like the price tag on this thing, but I just have a tough time in their current form to want to buy in on this team here. Yesterday, I told you guys I thought it was an Atlanta spot. I also thought it was an under spot. I thought that the fact that they've seen Ranger Suarez plenty at times meant that this was going to be a bad look for Boston. And 7-6 doesn't mean it was a terrible game. They performed, but I thought the unders at home were the play to be. And that certainly was not the case. Now, the thing I like about this game here and where I'm going to isolate this to is the first 5 because not quite as bad as the Mets, but the Braves against lefties in non-divisional spots have been popping and dropping. And I think that's 13-3 in the last 16 spots this quarter of a season. So I like that. I'm going to take the Atlanta first 5 here. Let me just do a quick price shop on this one because 645, I haven't quite laid out all my action for 645 yet this evening. I see a -105. First 5 Atlanta. take advantage of that suspect early and strike him early. No pun intended here. I'd even consider laying the half a run at, you can lay the half a run at plus 115, but I think minus 105 is fair number for Atlanta first five.
Yeah, tough game for me in terms of the side. I think the over is the best look in this game. Contrarian over for sure. I mean, you see both of these pitchers with great numbers, and both these pitchers actually did face off against this opponent in the previous series played in Atlanta, and both games' final score was 3-2. So this is how I look at games oftentimes. I see, is there recent matchup data? What was the result, and what were the lines? The Elder game was 7.5, and the early game was also 7.5. So why did both games finish precisely 3-2, and now it's moved up a full run? Because both pitchers are not going to pitch as well. And you look at the Braves lineup, very noticeable polarization in recent history, scoring on the road, not scoring at home. Coming off of back-to-back losses over the weekend against Washington at Truist Park, 0 runs and 1 run, exploded for 7 yesterday. Go back to their previous series at Miami. They scored 8, 9, and 9. So this is a lineup that is traveling well. And I do think the Red Sox second matchup in recent history versus Elder will get to him. And Mike, this really does agree with your juice ball idea. This is almost summertime. It's warm. It's outdoors. It's Fenway Park. It is short porches in both left and right field. I think you're going to see a really wide open game here tonight. Over 10 runs, in my opinion. Take it and let's cash. Keeping it moving. Next game on the card, 7:10 in Queens. Reds at Mets, game 2. We told you guys yesterday Chase Burns was shoved. He did. Now it's Andrew Abbott on the bump. Mike, I'll say it again. Is there a runner on third yet?
Yeah, so I laid it out for you guys yesterday. It was Cincinnati Reds, first 5 full game. Burns to catch the win, the whole package out there. And it did come through for a glorious victory. This one's a little different in the fact that guess who's no good against lefties? That is the Mets. You fade the Mets against lefties, 205 and 163 over the last 9 seasons. So you make it a good team over the last 5 years. You're 84 and 52 in the fade spot against them boys out there. So I like the Reds. What I was doing again is I'm just going to go right back, rinse and repeat this formula here to record the win for good old Andy Abbott. We're at plus 178. Love that plus 178. Love the first 5 with the Cincinnati Reds. And until the Mets can show me that they can hit a lefty, there's no way they're getting my money here. So right now you got a minus 105 first 5 for the Cincinnati Reds. And we'll take the full game. We'll do the same thing as we did yesterday. Plus 102 on the full, plus 104 on the full game.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree. I don't have anything in this game. Andrew Abbott is not my favorite pitcher. The Reds are not my favorite team. The only thing I like about the Reds is Chase Burns. He did the work yesterday. I'll see you in 4 days, Chase. Mike's taking the Reds tonight. Take it and let's cash. Next game on the card, going to the south side of Chicago, White Sox Twins, game 3 of this series. Tough one last night. I put the hat on. I had been hyping up the White Sox hat for weeks, and we put it on, and they proceed to lose in 11 innings in a real letdown game. I can't say I was particularly enthused at all. I still have the hat here. I didn't burn it on the first night I owned it, but I was kind of annoyed by the outcome. We thought we were going to get Davis Martin on the bump tonight. We're not. We're getting an MLB debut for, I believe the name is David Sandlin. Mike, unfortunately, we love Davis Martin. We know absolutely nothing about David Sandlin. Can you figure this game out?
I told you guys yesterday that the problem with the White Sox is you traded all your pieces away. So, respect, 2-3 years from now, they'll bring some batters in and they'll start to be a good team that can back it up consistently. But they started way too hot, way too early. And, I don't love a Twins team in this case here, but, Sandlin, I certainly wouldn't destroy the buy hat there with the White Sox. There's plenty of time that they'll find themselves to sneak some wins, probably when it's Davis Martin involved here. But, I just look at this game here and first of all, I don't like it when they take out a pitcher and change the rotation. So right off the gate, I'm looking at the Minnesota Twins. The question is, can I get there from a betting perspective? And I think the answer is yeah. I think this is a spot where, extra inning teams that take the loss, they don't necessarily bounce back too well either in that case here. So, the White Sox are home, but you're giving me the Minnesota Twins at even money with Connor Prelip against David Sandlin. Go look up who the fuck David Sandlin is. Young buck out of Oklahoma. And Shark and I were talking before the game here. Why they got so many pitchers coming out of Oklahoma? But nonetheless, we'll take a shot and take this Minnesota Twins team.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're not buying the White Sox tonight. I wouldn't disagree. I don't have anything in this game. Honestly, when we see a pitcher making his major league debut, we know the background information. We don't know what he's doing in Major League Baseball. We will watch and learn tonight. You guys are tailing Mike. Take the Twins and let's cash. Keeping it moving. Next game on the card, going back to Kansas City. Yankees at Royals, game 3 of this series. The Yankees have now beaten the Royals 13 straight times, and they get a chance to complete the sweep with Garrett Cole on the bump. You know, truthfully, if you're a Kansas City fan, I'm sorry. It doesn't get much easier tonight. But I would say Cole first road start of the year. Maybe he gets hit. Mike, what do you think?
So I told you guys last start for Cole that he was going to go out there and rock, and he did. He rolled them over. It was his minor league starts. I said to you guys, you got to watch these guys coming up. It's not just about that they're starting in late in season, but we had AA rehab ball on him. We had AAA rehab ball on him. And then he went out there and look at his numbers. He went 6 innings, only 2 strikeouts, but he didn't give up any runs. He's got Noah Cameron coming up here, and this is an under festival for me right now because you got 2 pitchers that can shove. You got the numbers looking at this thing saying, boy, we saw what happened yesterday. This thing should be an over, easy over on top of that thing. But yet we're sitting here with a 9 and we're starting to see some prevailing winds blow this thing down to 8.5. So those are indicators for me that both these pitchers come out there and roll. It's 9.5. It's down to 8.5. Get the 9. I like that spot. I'm going to take the first 5 in this one as well. Yeah, it's a little dicey because these bats are hot for the Yankees. And once they start heating up, it is problematic. But 4.5 is minus 110 plus 100. I see Caesar's got 100. Even money spot for the first 5 under, and then the full game under 9 sitting at minus 115 are 2 ways I want to attack this game.
Yeah, the first 5, I'll let you live there. I think the game goes over, however. I'm looking at Noah Cameron against the Yankees. This guy is absolutely terrible. And it's not changing, in my opinion. Not only that, I gave you guys the over last night, and I said the Yankees bats were going to explode. They did. 15 runs. It's Jazz Chisholm. It's Anthony Volpe. It's not over-reliance on guys like Aaron Judge, which if you're a Yankee fan and you're betting totals, you love. Because when this Yankees lineup gets going, it is the depth of the lineup. And as I said, Cameron just really doesn't perform in this spot. You go through his calendar just this year. He did pitch at the Yankees on Saturday afternoon, April 18th. Absolutely terrible. 13-4 loss, 4 innings pitched, 7 hits, 5 earned runs, 3 home runs against Rosario, Rice, Bellinger. You go back to last year, he also got hammered against the Yankees at home. Almost an identical stat line, 10-2 loss, another 6 earned runs in only 5 2/3, another 2 home runs against. Who got him last year on the road? Aaron Judge, top of first, 2-run shot. Austin Wells in the 4th. And as I said, Garrett Cole making his first road start of the year. I don't think he travels well here. He's been a little notorious over his Yankee camp, his Yankee career. Not at Yankee Stadium. You know, it's the middle of the country. It's warm out. It's a small park, Kauffman Stadium. I think he could struggle. I think the Yankees win the game, but I think it goes over. Mike, the first 5, obviously different conversation, but I do not see either pitcher performing to high-level expectation here tonight. Any further comments or keeping it moving?
We'll keep it moving. We'll wait and see how it shakes out when it's all said and done here. But I just think we got a shove. We got a shove fest here. You know what's funny about that? Speaking of that, why is the Yankees line just sitting at minus 155 after they tattooed this Kansas City team yesterday? And Kansas City bats are struggling here. This tells me that they're thinking 3-2, which bat's going to prevail at the end of the game. So I don't know. We'll see. It'll be fun. Fun to have some juice going on a Yankees game besides just taking a side or, you know what I mean? It's going to be fun to see if the bats can come to Ray. Ben Rice, man. I gave him out as an RBI yesterday. Nice cash. Easy money.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't disagree. And, you know, as I said already on this show, I love to buy low and sell high. I just don't see Noah Cameron improving in the matchup. But we will see, and we will keep it moving. Next game on the card, 8:05 in Texas, Arlington, Globe Life Field, Astros-Rangers. Game 3 of this series. Jacob deGrom against Mike Burrows. Last night, the Rangers did awaken, and they awakened with emphasis. As I mentioned earlier in the show, no hit 2 nights ago. 8 runs in the top of the first yesterday. Doesn't get much better than that if you back the Rangers. On yesterday's show, I actually said I thought the Rangers would lose. Afterward, I thought to myself, these are grown men. They're pros. They just got shut out. They're going to explode. I kind of went against my numbers, and I said Texas wins. They won. I got it right. Mike, tonight, this game for me is tough. What do you think of this one?
Shit, I like teams to back him off the shutout, too. That was just, when I saw the 8 in the first inning, I was like, holy cow, what just happened out there? I just don't know how much we can trust DeGrom. That's my, I don't know. He's got a 1-1-4 at home, but he just shit the bed his last start. So are we going to see a backup here where he went 3 innings against the lowly Angels? It was on the road. Before that, he puked up against Houston. He went 6 innings, but he gave up 5 hits and 4 earned runs. I think what happened in that case was they left him in a little bit too long. So, 12-0 are the unders at home for these Texas Rangers if they scored 9 or more runs the previous game. It's one of my favorite angles. It's the blown load theory. You scored too much. You put it all out there. You used it all up, whatever it is you want to call it here. So then you look at this number and you see that it's super low. So the books kind of maybe believe in that same process. There are 7.5s out there. It's interesting. 65% of the bets, 80% of the cash are coming in on the over. It is coming down to 7.5s to 7. So right now, 7.5s are -112. I'll take the under 7.5 in this game, -112.
Yeah, I agree. I think you're going to see really what is an extremely consistent polarization continue for DeGrom. DeGrom is just terrible on the road, and he's great at home. And it is a wide gap in efficiency. This year at home, he's only given up 3 earned runs in over 20 innings pitched. And he did the same thing last year. And, when I was looking at this before, I was trying to figure it out. Like, I understand road travel is difficult, but the guy's 37. He's one of the best pitchers of his generation. It still surprises me that he's not pitching better on the road as a mature, intelligent veteran. It's irrelevant for this handicap. He's at home. This is where he shoves. And I think Burrows will struggle. I haven't gotten to a side yet because I do think that the 9-inning game here could actually go the direction of the Astros. Not so much because DeGrom pitches good or bad, but because the game just disperses in that direction. Ultimately a tough side, but Mike, I do agree the under is the best look. Take the under, let's cash, and let's keep it moving. Final game of the card. Only real late night game tonight, 10:10 in Los Angeles, Dodger Stadium. Rockies at Dodgers. Tomoyuki Sugano at Shohei Ohtani. Mike and I were joking before the show. This has gone a little out of the price range here for the Dodgers. Now, where does it stop? We're at -411. This reminds me of, speaking of Garrett Cole, when he pitched for the Astros, a couple of those numbers back in the day were in the 400s. This is really high-level pricing, Mike. What's going on in this game?
What a shame, the late night game. And it's like, this is as ugly as, it's not going to get much uglier than this, but I don't know. Look, we saw the last game. What happened? Ohtani goes out there and, he only got 4 strikeouts. Everyone was looking at his 6.5s and 7s. But he did come right out the gate and he popped a home run. So apparently I was talking with my guy Sharpie earlier yesterday about this. And I think it's only happened twice in baseball history. And both times it was Ohtani that did it. So, hey, that's pretty impressive. I thought anytime you got a trend that's only happened twice and it's the same guy to do it is certainly worth noting here. But what are you going to do? You're going to have to lay 3.5 runs against it. And maybe it's warranted. Maybe that is the way to approach this one. But I'd rather take a shot on some hitting props. I got to let this market materialize a little bit more before I start to jump in one way or the other here. But what are you going to do? This is a shit spot to be in with a -400 team, and they deserve it. This is what I would have expected the Yankees line to look like after that thumping last night. But in fact, it's the Dodgers that have the price tag. So maybe even if you parlay the Dodgers and the Yankees money lines again, you're still going to be laying juice. So, Shark, I don't know. I wish I had a better answer for you than this one, but it is the late night. I will find a way to play it, and you'll have to tune into me at pregame and at 5 p.m. to find out how I'm going to the window.
Yeah, when you were just talking about the thing that really comes to my mind when I see lines like this is just sometimes the difficulty of betting money lines in any sport. Because if this was professional football or it was basketball, you'd be laying 13.5 points, and you could actually take value on the dog at +13.5, and they lose by 10. Baseball, you can't really do that. It's extremely split. It's black and white. You win or you lose. And then you get into the weeds of these run lines and these alt run lines. Mike, just to look at it for a quick second here, the Dodgers on the alts are, I'm going to pull it up, but just to give you guys a snapshot of what you're looking at, -1.5 is minus 173, which is just an awful, awful number. You don't want to even pay that at minus 170 for a money line spot, let alone to win by 2. You're better off taking alts where you could get, I'm looking at it here, alt run lines. -4.5 is plus 192. -3.5 is plus 130. -2.5 is minus 114. So basically, even money in this game is -2.5. They think the Dodgers are going to win by 3 on the average. If you want to get frisky, you can go up to 7.5 at plus 558. Bottom line is, it's a tough game. It's the late night special. Books are just not giving money away with the Dodgers right now. Unfortunate for the late card, but not unfortunate for us. We have a lot of official plays on this show. That is 56 and change, Mike. And we got best bets.
Best bets, my favorite segment of the show. We'll talk about this and put a bow on it here. Probably not going to leave you much room to maneuver here. I'm going to take the St. Louis Cardinals under 8.5. I'll take the official. I'll go with the Springs over 4.5 strikeouts. I'm going to take the under 9 in that game as well. I'm going to take the Arizona Diamondbacks. I'm going to take the Phillies minus 138. I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Rays minus 110. Atlanta in the first 5 at minus 105. And I guess I'll take that Yankees game under 9 as well.
Okay, so that was a bunch of plays there. Okay, I'm going to give you guys a handful as well. The Toronto game is about to start. So if you guys got that in already on the show, that's great. However, it is about to start in less than 2 minutes. Going with the Athletics, the buy hat is engaged, plus 113. Mike, I don't want to give contrary plays. I do like San Francisco in that game. We'll take the Angels plus 100. We'll take the under in the Angels game. I didn't give you guys that one in the breakdown, but I do think that's going to be a tight pitcher's duel. The games that Casey Mize did win last year were both in double digits on higher lines, 8.5 and 9.5. Now this line is plummeting. You're going to see a pitcher's duel there. And
what's the number you got for it?
7.5.
Woo! I like the Nerfy in that game, so I get it.
Yeah. And also taking the over in the Atlanta-Boston game at 8.5. That's 4.
Okay. Let's go with the LA Angels Nerfy for the first leg of the parlay. It seemed like you and I kind of got in alignment with, where were we in alignment here? Under 7.5 in the Houston game, right?
Yeah, that works.
And then we just need one more. Please let us get one more. How about the Cubs to break the streak?
I'll roll with it. Sure. I mean, I don't love it, but it's a parlay. It's going to pay 4-1. We're hanging out. We're having fun. Sure.
So we got the Angels Nerfy. We got the under 7.5 in the Astros game, and we're going to take the Cubs. Probably going to be the only show on the planet today to tell you guys to get in on the Cubs business here. But I like that A's lid, man. I'm not a hat guy so much anymore these days, but I could see myself rocking one of those, dude. I like the colors. Sharp, bright. I feel like you're out there in the sun. In a summer day down in Florida, 85 degrees. The sun is shining off that face, and that hat is just sparkling in all its glory. Tell them what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate you guys in the chat. We're approaching 1 hour. We try to bring you guys 15 games in 60 minutes, pretty much with precision every day. Tomorrow's card is smaller, 6 games. We will be back here, of course. If you guys haven't dropped comments in the live chat, we understand you guys are at work. You're doing business yourselves. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us. But if you do get a chance after the show, go to the YouTube show and go underneath where you watch the show and drop in the comment section your plays, any comments, and anything you have to say. It really helps to spread the show into the algorithm and grow it. We got about 3,000 views yesterday. We know baseball is a long-term project, and we appreciate you guys hanging out with us every day at 12 noon. That is it for this one. That is MLB Bases Loaded on this Wednesday, May the 27th, 2026. For Mike, I'm the Shark. Stay fast, stay strong, stay disciplined, and let's dominate.
I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine.